Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be wrapping up my NFC predictions with the NFC West. Alright, let's get to the teams. Arizona Cardinals. This offseason, the Cardinals didn't really add anyone of significance to their team. Like, they signed Josh Sweat, who's okay. He should be decent for them, I guess. And then Zay Jones, who's, I guess, okay for a wide receiver 3. In the draft, they drafted cornerback Will Johnson out of Michigan. He was a really good corner in college, and if he can stay healthy in the league, he should be pretty good in the league as well. Honestly, the offense does look decent. James Conner's a decent running back. I still think Marvin Harrison Jr. still can be an elite wide receiver. I don't feel his underwhelming season was entirely his fault. Michael Wilson and Zay Jones, I guess, are serviceable as wide receiver 2 and 3. And their line is decent. Kyler has been really up and down. I don't know what to think if he's good or bad. It's crazy he was in Lamar Jackson conversations a few years ago. I like Kyler and I want to see him succeed, but he just hasn't panned out as a round 1, pick 1 quarterback. I feel if he has another underwhelming season, there's going to be conversations if the Cardinals should look to move on. I feel like they're stuck in quarterback mediocrity. Kyler isn't a horrible quarterback, but is he really going to lead your team anywhere? I don't think this defense looks too good. They won't be bottom of the league, but it won't be a good defense. Sean Murphy-Bunting's going to be out for the season, which is a huge loss for them. Fun fact, I know someone who's friends with Sean Murphy-Bunting's cousin. He also said that he saw Sean's Super Bowl ring, which is pretty cool. Back to the Cardinals. No one really stands out to me. Budda Baker was pretty good a few years ago, but he's slowly becoming washed. Overall, this is not a defense I would fear. I'm not super confident with this pick, but I just have a feeling that they're going to be decent this year. I think they can sneak in the playoffs as the last wildcard team. 9-8. Los Angeles Rams. This offseason, they added Davante Adams, who's really good. He's going to be one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league, next to Puka Nacua. However, they did lose Cooper Kupp. I feel this is a pretty big loss. The Rams lost a real gritty, high IQ, high motor, sneaky athletic, crafty wide receiver who's a lunch pail type of guy. A real scrappy player who's always the first one in and last one out. Someone you let date your dog. In all seriousness, I feel like Davante is a better wide receiver than Cooper, so their wide receiver room did get better. I do wonder why they let him go. It seems like Cooper Kupp really wants to stay a Ram. Cooper Kupp could have been an elite wide receiver 3. This team depends on the health of Matthew Stafford. If he misses significant time, this team is absolutely cooked. They replaced Cooper Kupp with Davante Adams, so there's a slight upgrade at wide receiver. And him and Puka is going to be a nasty wide receiver duo. Kyron's a super reliable running back, and they have a okay to good offensive line. If Stafford is healthy, he should absolutely cook in this offense. However, if he does get hurt, I do not trust Hanson Boyd to get this team back to the playoffs. I know he's done it before in the Niners, but I don't see that version of him coming back. This defense is still really good, especially the pass rush. Jared Verse was an elite pick for them last year. He tore it up last year as a rookie. Kobe Turner and Byron Young are also very good pass rushers. This should be a really good defense with an elite pass rush. This team's success will heavily rely on the health of Matthew Stafford. There's a meme going around that Matthew Stafford has died and they have replaced him with a clone. With all the injuries that Stafford has been dealing with, I can't say it's absolutely false. Maybe they did replace him with a clone. Anyways, I can't trust Matthew Stafford to be healthy for all 17 games, especially with the way that he plays. This season hasn't even started and he's dealing with a disc injury. My prediction, he won't play all 17 and they miss the playoffs. 7-10. San Francisco 49ers. I didn't see this team make any significant signings to their team this offseason. However, they did lose a lot. Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga, Javon Hargrave, and Jordan Mason. I felt they were all decent contributors to this team last year. They also lost Deebo Samuel, who seems to have lost a step, which is kind of crazy considering how good he was a couple years ago. Last year, the 49ers were decimated with injury. I feel like there's no way they're as injured this year as they were last year. Despite all the losses this offseason, this team is still loaded with talent, especially offensively. Christian McCaffrey is one of my favorite running backs, and I've been a fan of him since his Stanford days. He's so good, and I just love watching Christian. I would hate to see him miss more time due to an injury. I still believe Brandon Ayuk's a really good wide receiver, and then also Pearsall looked solid for a rookie last year. And obviously, George Kittle's an elite tight end, and that offensive line is also elite. This offense should be pretty hard to stop. I feel like they'll make the playoffs if healthy. Defensively, they lost a lot. I don't think they'll be the same shutdown defense that they were in recent years. However, the most important pieces, Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, are still there. This defense should still be pretty good, but not quite that elite defense that we were accustomed to seeing. Normally, I wouldn't talk about special teams. No one really gives a shit about those guys, but I'm really surprised that Jake Moody has been so inconsistent. He was an elite kicker in college, and I thought that would translate well into the league. If he has a subpar kicking season again, they're going to be looking for a new kicker after this year. This team is still elite on paper when healthy. I think they stay healthy and win the division. However, I don't think they'll dominate as they used to. 10-7. Seattle Seahawks. Offensively, this team has been gutted from the past season. Tyler Lockett is old, but I felt he was still okay. DK Metcalf wasn't elite, but he's still a pretty good wide receiver. And Geno Smith was a solid quarterback. They pretty much just gave all of them away. Sam Darnold comes in to replace Geno Smith, and could be even better than Geno, but I don't fully trust Sam to be a good quarterback yet. Last season was his first good season in 7 years in the league. Cooper Kupp was a decent signing, but he's not going to be as good as he used to be. This offense is literally just Jackson Smith and Jigba. The running back duo of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet is decent, but not spectacular. There were rumors of Kenneth Walker getting traded for a 5th or 6th round pick, which is kind of crazy. I know he's not an elite running back, but I was surprised his value is tanked so much. I would have thought his value was at least a 3rd round pick, maybe even a late 2nd rounder. I may be biased because he was carrying Michigan State in the only good season that they had in recent years. Kenneth Walker pretty much made Mel Tucker. Tuck was in fact not coming. Well, he was, just not in the way we were all expecting. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Back to the Seahawks. Their defense was really good last season and should remain good this season. Their secondary is loaded with talent from Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, Julian Love, Kobe Bryant. I like all these pieces, and their front 7 is decent as well. This defense should be one of the top defenses in the league. This defense is really good, maybe even elite, but this offense will struggle. JSN can't do everything, and Sam Darnold won't be as good without Justin Jefferson. In a division where all the teams seem to be on even footing, there's no real bad teams in the NFC West, the Seahawks will probably struggle to get divisional wins, but they will get some good wins out of the division. I see them going 7-10. Okay, so here's my final predictions for the NFC West. San Francisco 49ers win the division at 10-7. Cardinals come in second at 9-8, and the Rams and Seahawks both finish at 7-10. But the Rams get the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, so they come in at 3rd. Okay, so based off my predictions, this would be the NFC playoff picture. Lions get the top seed at 13-4. Eagles get the 2nd seed at 12-5. And the Buccaneers and Niners both finish 10-7, but the Buccaneers get a tiebreaker over the 49ers, so they get the 3rd seed, while the Niners get the 4th seed. Falcons get the top wildcard spot, so they get the 5th seed. Packers get the 6th seed, and then the Cardinals sneak in and get the 7th seed. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed. Now that I have finished the NFC teams, I'll be moving on to the AFC. Those videos will be out real soon. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Alright, peace.